What is up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy DJ. Welcome back to my channel, Reckless 4.6. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I said I wasn't going to do too many more installation videos, but this is a video that I have to do. There is two other videos out there on YouTube that I know of for the 05 to 09 Mustangs, which are the S9, the Mustang GTs, correction. So there's only two videos that I personally know of. One is done by my boy Nate Ryder, and the other one is done by a kid named Jonathan, if I'm not mistaken. However, Jonathan did his installation video on a V6 for the V6 Mustangs, and Nate Ryder just posted the video yesterday on the 07 to 09 Mustangs. So for the 05, so 2005 to 2006 Mustang GTs, they do have to be wired up a different way. There is only one wire difference, but the installation is pretty much the same for the 05 to 09 Mustang GT. There is one wire that's a different location you have to connect it to, but pretty much everything else is the same way. So now that that's being said, let's go ahead. Pretty much the first thing you are going to have to do is you're going to have to tape up your wires, so that way when you feed them through the firewall, it does make it a little bit easier to feed them through. So once you do that, you are going to have to go under the car, find a location to feed it through your firewall, which I will show you that in a moment. Once you feed the wires through, you are going to just follow the steps step by step, and it is pretty simple. Alright, so for the first part of this video, you are going to be looking to where to feed your wires through. The instructions online do say that you can feed it through this garment right there. However, I do have an underglow system on my car, and I found out that the garment right here, you are going to have to cut a little bit of the foam. Once you cut a little bit of the foam, the garment is right behind there, and that's where I went ahead and fed my wires through the firewall. So this garment does pop out right under the battery tray, so you will have to remove the tray to get to the wires. However, if you do go on the website, it does recommend that you use this garment right here, and that one goes into the wheel well, so you will have to remove your wheel and your wheel well just to get to that one, and then you have to be able to feed it through the fender into the engine bay. So I went ahead and did mine. So again, you could do this, you could feed it through wherever you want. That depends on you and where you feel more comfortable feeding your wires through the firewall. So now that I went ahead and fed them through, I just went ahead and pulled them through, and we are going to go ahead to the PCM right here, which it does say on the instructions to disconnect the three of these, which is pretty simple. All you have to do is disconnect the clip and pull them right out. So you are going to have to unplug all three, and once you do that, you are going to have to remove the garment and the old weather garment and the tape to expose the wires. And pretty much we are going to be looking for one wire or two wires on each PCM to connect these cords to. Okay, once you remove the PCM by pulling back the lever and the clip coming off, they are gonna have these brackets on here just like this, which with a simple flathead, just lifting these up, they will come completely off. They're making the wires exposed to where you can find the wire. For the 06, the 05 to 06 Mustang GT, the first wire that you are going to be connecting is going to be the green one, and you are going to be connecting it to the white wire, which is on number 34 on the first connector. I don't know if you guys can see that. They do have these numbers right here, which, if it can focus, that right there is number 17. On this side, you have right there, you have 34. So you are going to be looking for number 30. So if you have 34 here, you're going to count 4 over, 34, 32, 33, 32, 31, and then right here, this is going to be the 30th one. So you are going to be splicing the first green wire into this wire right here, which is the only white wire, which makes it a little bit more easier. But over time, some of the wires can change color, so it does make it difficult to find. So if you can't locate the white wire off of the color, simply counting back from the 34 pin number to the 30th spot, there is the white wire that you will be connecting to. So pretty much all you're gonna have to do is cut that right about around this area where you have enough space in case you do mess up to strip it. And so you're gonna go ahead and cut this in half, and then you are gonna go ahead and strip it, and you're going to splice the green wire to that white wire there, which is the clutch sensor. Now let me go ahead and cut that and show you guys how it looks when it's finished. Alright, now that I went ahead and I've located the white wire, I did go ahead and disconnect. I went ahead and cut the white wire and butt connected the green wire to the white wire, and went ahead and secured it. You can either solder it or use a butt connector. As long as you do have a solid good connection where it won't come apart, you should be good. Either way works. Most people do soldering because it is a little bit more simpler and it does look a lot more cleaner. However, I don't have a soldering kit or the actual soldering machine on me right now, so I just went ahead and used butt connectors. Either way, it will work because as long as you do have a good solid connection. You want to go ahead and tug on it just a little bit to make sure it doesn't come apart. As long as it's nice and solid and it is clamped completely closed, you should be good and have no issues. Now that we're done with the first one, we are going to be moving on to the second one, which I will begin by removing this part, and I will show you which two wires you are going to need to clamp to connect onto this one. Okay, now that we are on the second PCM, which is the middle PCM on the computer module, the top one, now that we're done with the top one, that's the only wire that you will be connecting to the top one, is the green wire to the white wire in the number 30 pin PCM number spot. So that's going to be the 30 there. And on the second PCM, you are going to be looking for the number 17. So you're going to go ahead and locate your numbers on the side, and you're going to start at the number 12 and work your way over 5 spots. So you're going to start over here at 12, you're going to count 5 over till you locate the white one, and once you locate that wire, you are going to go ahead and need to cut that one in half and splice your blue wire right here to that one, and the only wire that you will need to connect to the middle one. And then finishing off after that, you will go to the last one, and I will let you guys know which pin number wire you're looking for and which color to connect to that wire. Okay, so go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and locate the white wire. And all right, now it looks like I have located that the white wire is the only wire. So where you see that the number 12 is on the PCM, that white wire, which is in the number 17, is actually the only wire on that row. So it should be the simplest wire to find. However, because it is in the middle of all these wires, you are going to have to kind of spread them. You don't want to tug on them too hard because you don't want to pull them out or mess them up or anything, but you are just going to have to maneuver around in there to find it. I found that it is easier to pull it from the bottom. If you turn it around, you can pull it from the bottom, and it does make the wire a little bit more accessible, and you do have more wiggle room to cut that wire and splice it in. So instead of trying to go from the top, if you can't go ahead and find it from the top, if you just flip it over, you will have more clear access to the wire from the bottom, which will be a lot easier to cut the wire and splice to it from that point. So that's how I'm gonna go ahead and do mine, is from the bottom. And now that I went ahead and finished off connecting the blue wire to the second PCM on the white wire in position number 17, we are gonna be doing the last PCM at the bottom, connecting the yellow wire to the black and pink in position 47. So just to go over everything we've done so far, we've connected the green wire to the white wire in the first PCM in position number 30. The second PCM, we connected the blue wire to the white wire in position number 17. And to finish off, we are going to be connecting the yellow wire to the third PCM, which is the bottom one, in the black and pink wire in position 47. Now, the way I'm setting this watt box up and connecting this one is only for 2005 to 2006 Mustang GTs. If you do have a 2007 to 2009 Mustang GT, go check out Nate Ryder's video, because he'll show you guys how to connect that one properly for those specific years. If you do have a V6 Mustang and are connecting a watt box for it, go check out Justin's video. He'll show you guys how to properly connect the watt box for a V6. So just to clarify, Justin has a V6 watt box installation video. I have a 2005 and 2006 Mustang GT, and Nate Ryder has a 2007 to 2009 Mustang GT installation video, but they are wired different due to different years. A key tip to get a little bit more better access to the bottom PCM is if you go ahead and you run and you pull it out from the other side, you can go ahead and pull it here to have a little bit better access. Remember though, when you are going to go ahead and connect your wire, you make sure to run your yellow wire or whatever wire you are connecting under the hose. That way when you pull this back under there, the wire does go under there with the PCM and it doesn't wrap around that hose. Another thing that you can do, which I'm going to do tomorrow. You can go to Home Depot or Walmart and you can buy one of these waterproof electrical garments. They do have them at Walmart and Home Depot. They're not that expensive. And you can go ahead and tuck up all the wires, because you do have a lot of colors and excessive wires that come with the N2mb watt box. Since they are different colors, you could go ahead and cover them up to make it look just a little bit more flush and not as noticeable, and also protect the wires under the engine bay. So that is a tip there that you can do. You don't have to do it. If you want to leave the wires there, you can just tuck them the best you can so they don't they're not too exposed, and leave them like that. Or if you want to go ahead and have a clean flush look on your engine, you can go ahead and put one of these electrical garments. Locating the black and pink one shouldn't be too hard, because it is the only black and pink wire on here, so you can pretty much spot that. If you look right here, that is number 50 right there, if you can focus. Next is blue and green wire right here. That is number 50. So if you subtract, it is going to be the black and pink one. Like I said, it is the only black and pink wire on there, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. It is just a matter of getting down into there in between all these wires and having better access to it. Be mindful when you are cutting these that you don't cut too far down to the bottom, because it leaves you less room to work with. That is a key tip. Make sure you are mindful of how far down you do cut. Now that I do have the wire spliced and cut in half, I'm going to go ahead and strip some of the wire off and go ahead and butt connect the last one. And then we are going to be moving to the last two steps, which are going to be the orange and the red wires that are going to be connected to the fuse. So for those, you are going to have to remove the fuse box cover, unscrew these 4 bolts right here, and you're going to have to remove this and get to the bottom here where these wires are, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that momentarily. Let me go ahead and finish up here and show you guys how this one looks. And remember, when you are done here, to go ahead and put the covers back on that you are removing to access these, as well. Like I did here, I went ahead and put those back on there and push them back on. Alright, yeah, now that we have finished those, we are done with the wires on the PCM. We did connect the green, the blue, and the yellow one. Now you are going to go ahead and remove the 4 bolts here, because you are going to need to get to this green one right here. This is where you are going to connect your orange and your red one. Depending if you have a V6, you are going to have one red wire, and if you have a V8, you are going to have 2. So since we are doing the GT, we are going to need to connect it to the 2 red wires under there. So I'm going to go ahead by removing these 4 bolts here, which are a number 7, to get access to the back. Once we have access to there, I'll show you guys what to connect from that point on. Key tip: if you have access to the green one, the green module, you actually aren't going to need to loosen the other 3 bolts. You are just going to need to loosen the one between the 2 fuse boxes themselves. You aren't going to have to loosen these 2. You can leave those exactly the same. Just loosen this one, like I said, and you'll be able to get access to it. Once you loosen it, this should be able to come off. With a simple flathead, you're going to lift up the clips right here, and the back should be able to come off, where you can get access to the wires to go ahead and connect your last 2 wires, which are the red and the orange one. Right, let me go ahead and clarify what the last step is on the watt box install. Saying on the V8, so a GT, that when you remove the green module and you move the cover off of it, there's going to be these 2 red wires that you are going to cut in half, and you're going to have to peel down the electrical garment down some to have a little bit more room to work with. So once you cut the 2 wires in half, you're going to grab the 2 red wires that are coming from the actual module itself, and you're going to either solder it or butt connect it to the red wire. Now the 2 remaining red wires coming that go down to the rest of the harness are what you're going to connect with the orange one. So basically, once you cut the 2 wires, they're never going to touch again. So the orange is going to go to the 2 red wires pushing down the harness, and then the red wire is going to go to the 2 red wires coming out of the computer, the actual module itself. So I was a little confused reading that, so I was just going to go ahead and clarify, make sure everyone understands what it's saying, because it is worded a little bit tricky. Now, another thing that I noticed is putting the actual modules back on the computer is a little bit more difficult than how they come off. I did have to take off the whole computer to just get the bottom 2 on. and I'm still struggling with the top one. How you know that they are on is they are going to click, and you have to make sure that they all are aligned perfectly. So you are going to have to use a little bit of force and strength to wiggle it back on, but you also want to be careful because you do have these little wired, these little electrical wires here that you don't want to bend. So once we go ahead and put the module back on and we butt connect this last one, we are going to put everything back together, and we are going to troubleshoot it and make sure that everything works properly and fine. Alright, and that's the overall connection part for the main wire, all the wires. So like I said, in conclusion, the two wires coming from the module go to the red wire. The two remaining wires that go down the harness go to the orange one, and that is going to be connected to the fuse box. The green wire is going to go to the first top one in space 30. The second blue wire is going to go to the white wire in space 17, and the yellow wire is going to go to the black and pink wire in space 47. So it is pretty simple. Like I said, it is pretty simple to the Justin's and Nate Riders, but this one is for the 05 to 06 Mustang because they do have to be connected a different way. Now, if you do have an 07 to 08 Mustang GT, go check out Nate Riders. And if you do have a V6 and you're trying to install that watt box, go check out Justin's video. So now that I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together, managed to get that module back onto that computer, and then we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot it and make sure everything is good. Alright guys, so when your overall completely done, this is what it should look like. Like I did say, you can go ahead and go buy some of that electrical garment that they do sell at Home Depot or Walmart if you do want to cover up these excessive wires so you don't have all these colors. If it really doesn't bother you that much, you can leave them like that. Just make sure you tuck them away to where they won't get caught on anything that moves. However, I am going to go ahead and buy some tomorrow and cover mine up just because I do want that to look a little bit more flush and convenient. Alright guys, so the overall product, this is what it should look like. It is pretty convenient, it's simple, and as long as you follow the instructions, you should have no problems. One thing I almost forgot is to make sure that you ground the negative ground wire that they do provide. It is only about a foot long, so it isn't long enough to stick through the firewall from the grommet I did. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is a simple solution. I cut a little bit of extra wire off of one of these. Doesn't really matter the color. I end up going with the orange one. I'm going to go ahead and butt connect it, and then I'm going to run it through the firewall and connect it to this existing ground. If you already have a ground on the inside of the car, by all means you can do that, but if you don't know where one is and you don't want the hassle, you can just go ahead and either solder or butt connect a little bit of extra wire, which is 16 gauge, and then just go ahead and run through the firewall and connect to any ground or negative wire on the engine bay or wherever you can find one. Overall, it was a pretty simple install. It didn't take more than about an hour, and that's because I was stopping, and then I did have a little bit of a trouble with getting this module back on. So I'm going to go ahead and ground this negative wire, and then we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot the watt box and make sure that it works. Like I said, all I'm simply doing here is extending the negative ground wire, which like I did here is simply just butt connected the two ends, and I'm going to go ahead and feed it through the same grommet that I fed all the other wires through, which like I said, if you want to go ahead and use this grommet, you can. This is the one that they recommend. However, I ran my LED, my OP7 LED through this grommet, so I prefer to use this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and feed it through just like that, and then go on the outside and simply go over here and fish it out right down there. If you can see where it's coming out. Let's see here. Now it's just a matter of finding the wire. Here it simply is. And just kind of run it through. I know this slide recording sucks. Okay, and pretty much just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and strip this down a little bit. They do provide a little ground cable that you go ahead and strip this. You stick it in there and you just crimp it down, and they go ahead and connect it right there. So that is where I'm going to go ahead and ground mine. And that is the last step. Then I'm going to go ahead and troubleshoot and make sure that everything is working properly. So So it is always good to double check all your connections, make sure everything is good and secure, and that you're not forgetting nothing, especially when you're dealing with motors and electrical wire. So you always want to double check just to make sure everything is fine and perfect. Also, make sure when you're done here, you do connect your battery, so that way you don't have any issues, and make sure everything is running fine. And go ahead and test out your watt box. Alright, now that we got everything finished, we did go ahead and we did ground it, and it did go in nice and smooth. Went ahead and did that, grounded it there, double checked everything. Everything looks like it's connected. Gonna go ahead and just tuck those there until I fix those tomorrow. Gonna go ahead and connect the battery back up. Alright, so I just went ahead and mounted up that ground, and then it went in nice and smooth. I didn't have any issues with it. It is perfect there. It wasn't a perfect length and everything. Went over here, double checked all my connections. Everything looks to be in place. Mounted up all the fuse box back in. The computer's mounted good. They're clipped in. So now all we have to do now, negative wire and everything's connected. My underglow's good, so I don't have any issues with that. Go ahead and just come under here. And we are gonna go ahead and connect up the watt box and go ahead and troubleshoot it. So it is a pretty simple clip on, and there we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and troubleshoot it and make sure that it works. Alright guys, now that we have all the wires connected, now the last step is to go ahead and make sure you troubleshoot and test your watt box. Make sure all your connections are correct. And the first step that the instructions say is to go ahead and turn the key forward, but not to where the car will turn on. So go ahead and turn the key in the on position. The watt box should turn on, and as we see, it does turn on, so that's good. First step is the second step is to go ahead and push the gas all the way to the floor, and it should blink very fast. Okay, it does that. That means that your blue wire has been connected properly. Second step is with your foot pushing the gas all the way down, push the clutch down, the light should turn off, back on, a solid color, and then blink very fast. So clutch is down, solid color off, blinking very fast. So that means our green wire is connected perfectly. So as you can see, our watt box came out and we did connect everything good, so it is working. Now the other steps do involve turning on the car, and I have to read on those instructions. So once you get to that point, as long as you see that it blinked fast when you did push the gas, and when you held the gas and pushed the clutch down, and it lights turned off, back on, and blinked very fast, at that point you know that everything should be good. Now all I have to do now is go ahead and open up my laptop and set the RPMs and my rev limiter and my two-step limits. So pretty much that was a simple install. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys do like and subscribe for many more videos to come. I know I said I ain't gonna be posting too many installation videos, but this is a video that I've been wanting to post. There isn't too many videos besides Nate Ryder's and Justin's video out there, so I just want to go ahead and clarify in case you do have a 2005 or 2006 Mustang GT. So if you have 07 to 09, go ahead and check out Nate's video. If you do have a V6, go check out Justin's. And like I said, my video was strictly for 2005 and 2006 Mustang GTs.